And we're live. We are live. Let's get a sound check going. Good morning. Sorry for the 2-minute late start. Let's make sure I got my sound going. Looks like my logo has kicked in. Oh, they have a new thing now. YouTube now has a thing where it's got my icon circled. Good morning, everybody. Today's going to be a fun event. It is scheduled to be close to 70 degrees here in March in Chicago. So the new e-bike is arriving. The old e-bike is out on the road. I've got plans to get my motor running. I hope you're going to do something fun as well, because I'll tell you what, in a world of unpredictable change, the one thing that kind of brings me back down to earth is just getting outside, breathing the air, looking at nature, and leaving all of the human politics and drama aside. It's good for everything. So I hope you'll enjoy that. But before we do, let's get some time in today, because we're going to talk about how to properly use AI with Kadence starter templates, especially when launching a Fluent Community site. If you guys who are here can say hello, hello, hello. I would love to hear from you. I'm going to do the same here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, it's posted up. All right, so let's just dive in, because I have got today a brand new site for this purpose. I'm going to have to scale this a little bit so that I can show the screen a little better. And I'll just make sure it fits. What I'm going to do is surprise you a little bit, because what happened this weekend, or actually this week, was I had somebody come to me and ask, I'm using the Minute Launch Kit and I want to use the Kadence AI starter templates. And I said, don't. Here's why. You want to use the classic templates, because the AI starter templates, with all due respect to the fact I'm in love with everything about Kadence and what Ben Rittner and his sister Hannah are doing, I think the AI starter templates versus the classic templates are a mistake. I think they are a Me Too product, because the experience is pretty rough. It doesn't make a lot of sense compared to setting up and using the regular templates. And I also wanted to cover today the priority that you need to go in if you're going to use starter templates. So let's set this up. I'm going to do a live build like I always do. The first step is always, let's go over to WP Launchify. And on a brand new site, I'm going to show you this live, so it's going to be beneficial. All you have to do is click the big banner on the top to get to the software bundle page, which is wplaunchify.com/software-bundle. Click to get the latest Minute Launch software plugin. This is the manager plugin. Okay, what we're going to do is let's install this first. So add new plugin. And today I'm going to focus actually on styling. I usually focus on mechanics and I don't do any styling, but today it's going to be all styling, baby. So let's go grab the plugin that I just downloaded and install it, because what I want to use this for is to give us the software we're going to work with. One of the things I have to do here, worth noting, is I need to, on this demo site, make sure that we are set to, not your problem, I need to set the PHP to 8.1. Now, if you happen to be using, by the way, if you happen to be using our software on anything lower than PHP 8.1, I would suggest that you update, because at this point in 2025, if you are not using the latest version of PHP, or at least the 8X version, you are really putting yourself at jeopardy of conflict, because a majority of the plugins and software have updated to that, right? So just keep in mind, it's not otherwise something you would need to worry about. But if your host is using, let's say, a 7X version of PHP, ask them to upgrade your site for you, or hopefully you'll just take us up on using the Rocket hosting, so you can just have this out of the box. And let's activate the plugin. Let's get rid of the two plugins we don't need real quick. Okay, and now once we've got this, here's the concept. What we're going to do is install the Kadence theme and a couple plugins, and then I want to show you, focusing on the Kadence starter template, how to go in sequence to get this thing initiated, because the licensing part is really, It's easy and obvious, but if you're conditioned to like the things from the past, it may not be so. So let's first of all turn on the normal options of Launch Kit, which gives us a much better management experience in the WordPress dashboard. Notice I just did the select all and then I unchecked the first box. Okay. And then next, I'm going to go ahead and add the license access, which isn't really license access. What this is using your login credentials from WP Launchify. So if you have a subscription with us, then you'll put in your credentials for logging into WP Launchify on any site you want to use the Launch Kit software, the Minute Launch Kit software. And this allows you the freedom to have unlimited use, as it should be. You don't need a license key. You don't need to register. You don't need to go get the copy of the key. You don't need to manage the key. Just have your one login. Your browser, as you can see, will save that. And you can use it on any number of client sites or your own sites. That's the beauty of how we've set this up. $97 for the full bundle, $47 of which is for the software. Allows you that freedom. What I always do first is I install the Kadence theme. I am not actually sure what would happen if you had another theme installed. I would imagine it would give you a notice that says the Kadence starter templates are designed for the Kadence theme. I don't know. I've never tested it. It doesn't really matter because if you do that, you're probably not thinking it through anyway. You really want to use the Kadence theme. So this just quick installs it. Next is I can get the latest bundle of stuff. I've done this a million times. Get the latest bundle of stuff from Minute Launch Software Kit. And then I can install whatever I want. Now, what I would want to do here is probably install the Kadence stuff. So I don't need to install everything. Let's just install the Kadence stuff. So let's do Kadence Blocks and Kadence Blocks Pro. Kadence Pro for the theme. And then here you'll notice Kadence Starter Template. I believe that's the latest version. Let's put that in. Okay, so I don't have every single plugin here. I don't need it for what we're about to do. Let's go over to the plugins and activate those. We'll leave the starter template thing to the end. So let's just activate. We have a very it's a very quiet and subdued crowd there today. I can see you all lurking. If anybody wants to say hi, feel free. Okay, now here's the important part. We have not installed the Kadence starter template yet. Step one is with Launch Kit. We've already got the unlimited access license you need. You're going to go over to features once you've logged in, and you're going to go to license, and you're going to make sure that you just click on Kadence Pro license, use default key. And the reason you're going to do that is that sets the unlimited license for you to use the cloud stuff inside of this installation. Simple. But it's not that simple because when you're using the cloud stuff, Kadence needs you to have a login, as you'll see. So watch what happens. If we go back over, let's actually activate the starter template now. And this is where it's been confusing, admittedly, for a lot of folks. First of all, love Ben, love Hannah, love everything Kadence, but too many menus for Kadence and licenses. Number one, there's the appearance Kadence. Then there's the Kadence menu over here. And then the starter templates are here. And when you click on it at this point, watch what happens. What happened? Nothing. Let's click on View Template Library. Now weird stuff also happens. What happened? I don't know. It's like it's not working. Okay. Notice now the menu item changed to starter templates. I have no freaking idea what's going on over there with the Kadence crew and all these menus, but this stuff is just odd. So now I'm going kind of in loops. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to purge everything. So what I'm trying to demonstrate for you is odd behavior is happening. And I am not sure why with a lot of the Kadence starter template stuff. If I go up over here, appearance, Kadence, you'll notice we've got the random license key boxes, and it just, I'm not 100% sure what's going on. Weird stuff. So here's my remedy for this. First of all, let's go back over here to Kadence and see if we can get this thing to actually kick in. Finally got it on the third try. So, takeaway from this is I don't know why or how or what the hell is happening, but ever since they did the AI starter templates, there seems to be a need for this to talk to the home server. And if you choose the AI starter templates right here, finally on the Kadence starter template menu, here's what I want to tell you. This is like a fork in the road moment. I'm going to show you what is going to happen if we use the AI choice. And I'm going to tell you, don't use the AI choice. I hope it'll be obvious because the experience is really horrific compared to how amazing it is if you just use classic. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to do so much stuff to remediate or fix or get the AI started that it just becomes a pointless endeavor. By the way, for these other notices, we can now you just hide notices here. That's the built-in feature of LaunchKit, so we don't get distracted by false notices that we have to license this. It's already licensed. The problem is that there's 5 different spots that have open fields, and those things aren't really related to the database. They're just dummy fields, and they're not connected to each other to let it know that it's already been registered. These are things they just have to clean up. Too many licensing fields, 5 of them. Okay, let's do this. When I activate this, it's going to tell me I need an account at Kadence. Okay. Now, what you're going to have to do is if you don't already have an account, you're going to have to go ahead and set one up. You do not need to purchase. You can compare the plans. And by the way, I think, log out of this previous account. Let's see. It might have been the problem. Let's see if I'm already logged in. Yeah, I'm logged in. So let me log out so I can give you this, what this truly will be like when you do it with a non-logged in situation. Okay. Okay. So let's say you're not logged in. Let's say you don't have a Kadence account. When you click this, it's going to take you there and you're going to have the opportunity to create an account, register an account, which you should do. Let's make a test account at Mailinator, office hours at mailinator.com so I can recover this. And let's give it a password I'll remember. Okay. It's going to create an account. It's going to ask me to go check. So I'm going to go to Mailinator and go grab that 4-digit number. Sorry about my voice today. Let's see if I can get it to send me. Okay, nothing has come through. So let's try it again. We'll see if this is going to work to send it. Otherwise, I'll have to come up with a plan B. Okay, let's back up the truck. We're having a little Kadence fun this morning. This is part of the difficulty why I wanted to share with you guys, because all's not well over there sometimes. Not that there's a problem. It's just that you have too many complicated processes. Let's try it again. Let's do Spencer1234 at mailinator.com. There it is. Okay, good. So let's 0085. Let's make our account. Okay, now that I've got this and I can log in, we don't need anything else. We're already in, we've already got an account. You don't need to buy anything because we've already got that through your relationship with me as your agency. Okay. So, number one takeaway, to use the AI templates, if you're curious, you need a free account at Kadence. validate it with your real email, not Mailinator. And when you do, that can be connected to the whatever WordPress site that you're using when you're using Minute Launch Software Bundle and my license by default. Now, you could, by the way, if you have a client who has their own Kadence license or you do yourself, feel free to use it because you can substitute your own license instead of our default one. But this is how we're getting around this. So now we should be able to do the starter. It's a slog, baby. It's a slog. It's still killing me here. Hold on. Let's clear the cache one more time. All of this is just to try to get to the templates that you otherwise could do in 2 seconds with Classic. I think I'm going to have to activate the free plan. Let's see. Let's go to free, get started. I don't know if that actually did what I need to do or not. Let's find out. Having more difficulty this morning than I normally do with this because it's always troublesome, but I've usually gotten it on the first try. I'm going to clear the cache. Let's see if that helps. And one of the things that I'm going to do here, just to be sure, is I'm going to actually jump on back to LaunchKit, see whether or not if I trigger the license thing again, that gets me over this hump. Okay, starter templates. Rolling the dice live. Having almost no luck here. So I'm going to try plan B. This was not actually what I intended to have happen because I have had success with making this work. But in this particular case, we're dealing with the very same thing that I'm trying to make as a point. Okay. Let's back up the truck one more time. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to look at the plugin. I'm going to turn it on and off and see if I can have any success with that. Also, what I'm going to do in this case to see if it helps, I'm going to use this link, see if this changes the outcome. Absolutely no luck today. Okay. So my backup plan is going to be interesting. I have a plan B here, but before I completely give up, I'm going to see if I can manually get this to work. I'm going to log out. I'm going to try one more thing. By the way, I've often been told that sometimes it's enjoyable to watch me struggle when I do these things live because I'd say 99% of what I do is essentially this. It's just curating all the various components and trying to make everything function. And some people have said it makes them feel better. I think it's nice. When Spence struggles, they don't feel so bad because they're struggling with similar stuff. And if I do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I can't get it, they feel like life isn't that hard. And I think that's really a good attitude, by the way. So let's do one more time. What's interesting to me is yesterday I did this on Insta, and I am not 100% sure whether or not this has anything to do with the difference. This is now hosted on Rocket. Whether this has anything to do with the CDN or not, I don't really know. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually I'm going to open this in a new incognito window. No, let's open this in a new window, in a new tab, I should say. Let's try to register one more time, see if we get any luck. Spence 555 at. If it doesn't work, I'm going to show you what it was going to be. Spence 555 8240. I'm going to do something weird here. I'm going to click the purchase button, but not purchase. I don't know what exactly is causing the difficulty that I had yesterday that I didn't have yesterday to appear here, but we'll give it one last gung ho. Let's see if I can induce it from. It's not going to appear here. Maybe it'll appear on the plugin screen again. I'm going to delete this. Let's see if this has any effect on it. Also, I'm going to check this to see. No, nothing about starter templates there. Okay, let's see what happens if I do this. The weird thing for me as I'm doing this is that I'm doing all of this just to show you what you're not supposed to do. So you're never going to have to do this if you follow my advice, to be quite honest with you, because I think this is, as I've said multiple times today, not going to be your best bet anyway. I am going to do one last thing. I'm going to deactivate LaunchKit Pro. Let's see. Well, I've had no luck. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you something from last night when I was preparing for today's webinar. I just used Insta. And once you get the AI starter template going, this is what you're going to end up with, which will, I think, prove my point. Here, Kadence starter templates will look like this. Probably could have saved us all them. Oh, here we go again. I'm wondering, maybe there was a change from last night. I don't know. But notice, to prove my point, see where it says explore, continue for free? That's actually what I got yesterday. So I don't know whether or not something changed at Kadence last night with how it allows these things to launch or what, but I doubt it. I just think, okay, pretend the last 10 minutes of your life could be given back. That's what I would always love, a magic wand. I'm very sorry for that, but I'm not sorry because, like I said, you have to see how weird this is to understand my point of view. Here are the AI templates. What I had done is gone through this interview, which quite frankly was ridiculous of questions. Here's the questions that it asked. What's your language? Information about you. Where are you located? What's your street? Well, what the F do I need to do all that for? Like, why? Like, I'm doing this for a client or I'm doing it for myself. That's the last thing I want to do right now. If I'm just trying to figure out the design of a site, why do I want to go through a job interview tell us about your business and yourself. What? Why do I want to do that? Now, is it because the design is going to be better? Maybe this will allow the AI to figure out that I want pictures of duckies and birdies instead of ponies and hippos. But all the copy, all the content, this isn't going to give me anything that's going to be meaningful or useful whatsoever. Add some keywords. In 2025, I'm supposed to come up with keywords to represent my business. What is the disconnect? Choose your tone. Well, is there one under here for confused or slightly frustrated? I don't know. Let's say trustworthy. What is the goals of this site? And then I got to pick from premium things. This is like really not well thought out considering how awesome Kadence is. And I believe Ben and the team are entitled to a full pass on this because this is just a Me Too product that was clearly jammed down the throats. And I think it came from the top end of Liquid Web. I have to talk to Devin, maybe. Devin, if you watch this, let me know. But this is mental. This is just a waste and a diversion from the otherwise awesome parts of Kadence. The whole experience of using it, having to have the account, going through the shenanigans, even though, yes, I'm trying to game the system. Somebody should be able to use these for free to see what they're like, not have to go through a $169 sales funnel first. I love your products. I want everybody to buy them, but not for this. And then this process is ridiculous. Chris says, hi, Chris. All AI website builders is what happens when exactly. This is dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb not just for Kadence. It's dumb for everybody. In fact, equal opportunity. I love Adam and Sujay. ZipWP has the same. Build it with AI. No, don't build it with AI because it's just as ridiculous. So, in fairness, some website. Let's just look how ridiculous this is. Software. Okay, this will be English. Again, a bunch of dumb questions like I sell software for WordPress. And then it's going to tell me that I need more words because it's not enough words. So I'm going to have the AI who doesn't know me write words about a business that it doesn't know anything about. We're just going down a ridiculous channel, right? And all of them are dumb. 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street. Why am I having to do all this? Because some fool somewhere decided that AI needs to be involved in building websites. And now all the smart people are thinking that this is a good idea. Now I got to select the images. Okay, here's my high school profile picture. I'm going to use this. And what are these pictures of? And now I got a design that I got to pick from. By the time you do all of these steps, I'm ranting. Sorry. I'm at the place for both ZipWP or for Kadence that I might as well have just started from scratch. Because what does this look like to you? This looks exactly like the same thing that I would have gotten had I started, right? Let's finish this nonsense interview here. Same idea. Generate the base content. Okay. So this takes 2-3 minutes to spit out some random, really substandard thing. It's really hard for me, by the way, because everything that I'm building is based upon the Liquid Web Kadence stuff. But it's so hard for me to see a clunker like this. On the other hand, their shop kit is a clunker. There's a few other legacy plugins that are clunkers. And I think the reason is, in fairness to Ben and the team, he's doing so much so fast. And he's trying to keep up with trends that he hasn't, let's say, had the time to curate out what's really important. And this is a problem that we all have today, to be honest. What is it that we should pay attention to? In fact, I just want to emphasize how relevant this is in my world. The number 1 and 2 things that I solve for you and everybody is the problem of shiny ball syndrome driven by not fully understanding the needs and the wants of the marketplace. Frankenstein monster means you're building a bunch of random stuff to keep up with the crowd. When what I'm saying, and it equally applies to Liquid Web Kadence, it applies to ZipWP, it applies to anybody. Focus by doing less stuff really well. and stop trying to force ridiculous stuff on people. When you have a great product and you taint it a little bit with this, poison the water a little bit with this, it just takes away from the great product. Now, here's where we're at. Rant over, sip of water. These are what the AI generated for me. This is the biggest hunk of junk I have ever seen in my life. I would not choose any of these if you told me visually to pick one. Chris or somebody who's here, we have quite a few folks here today. Somebody pipe in. Do you agree or not? I think I have a poll on this thing, by the way. Do I have a poll? Let's see. Video clip, banner. I've never used the poll. Font, preset, private chat. I don't know. I got to figure out where to put the poll in. But here's the question for you guys. Do you feel, looking at this screen, that any of these are more awesome than if I switched instead to using the classic? Here's the classic. Now, my whole point of today was AI is incredible. I'm building it into many of the components that we're including with the Minute Launch Software Bundle in my recipes and so forth. But there's 100 and something themes here. Let's show one hand. Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? Chris? Anybody? There's a few dozen of you here, so I'm not sure if anybody's just being shy. Are these better than these? Sorry, than these. If you were going to start, which one were you going to use? And by the way, when you look at these particular sites, look at the amazing content that the AI generated for me. I'm ready to go. I don't have to do anything. It's finished. I could just take a nap now and tell my client to send me a check for $5,000. It's done. The online programs at Tony Tiger helped me advance my career in computer science. See, my point is, there's no possible way that the AI in one of these builders can get enough information to fill out all of the necessary stuff on the website, which is to say you're going to have to edit the website. Why go through all of the pain? Thank you, Chris. Why go through all of the pain and the nonsense when you could just start with the classic block editor templates and just edit from there? Okay. Moment of Zen. Spence and you all have access to unlimited free, incredible free AI stuff. Okay. So if I go to ChatGPT, or I go to Claude or Perplexity or Gemini or Llama or Grok, you can take a moment and yell at Elon there. Okay. I can choose a model, which is awesome. I can use even this new research preview, but even just the standard bread and butter GPT-4, okay, the old granddaddy already, okay. Think like a right expert for websites. Please outline a multi-panel homepage for someone who sells WordPress plugins and services to help smart entrepreneurs, I'm spelling badly, make more money in less time. Give it to me in easy to copy and paste format so I can put it into Gutenberg. Okay. This is your tool. This in Claude, Gemini, whatever, is your tool, because what it's going to do is, like when I was a kid, we had the Mad Libs game. You had a story and it was an English class. Yes, kids, we took English class. And it would be like, give me a noun, give me a verb, give me an adjective. And you'd ask your friends, they would shout out words like donkey. And you would write it in the place. And then you would read the story and it would be really super fun. Now, what has this done for me? This has done infinitely more than any of that crap on the AI template builders. Why? Here's panel 1, hero section. Okay. Legitimately, watch what I can do. I'm going to copy this. Okay. Now, I'll leave this open to come back to. Let's pick a starter template. Anybody have a choice? I don't know. They all look great to me. Okay. Let's pick this kind of fugly one. And I'm going to choose a different color scheme, maybe. It's really simple. Next, I can import the full site or only the select page. What's cool about this is I can import the customizer settings, the widgets, everything I need. And all of the style is going to go with it, which would be awesome. If I do this, here's the most important number 2, kids. Let me zoom in on this. Number 2, most important point of today. Okay. Do not start building your site until or unless you've already installed the starter template. Why? Because this is going to wipe your whole site clean. Just like the best cleaning service. Let's do it. I am on, it's interesting. I think I'm on the InstaWP site, but that's okay. I'm going to do it here on the InstaWP site, and then I can always move over and do it on the Rocket. What this does is it literally wipes out the database, imports the necessary settings from the starter template. But the cool thing is that if you do this first, in 2 seconds, boom, boom, install, put in the classic templates, choose something attractive, do this. You are now at the place that you're going to need to be, and you're going to be anyway. Let's go to the site. It's going to look gorgeous, just like the template. Oh, amazing. Click edit. And now what do I do? Here's the magic of using the same stuff that Spence is showing you. We have got the first row is here, right? And let's close this so we get a little better sense of the scale. Never trust these out of the box. They're not like accurate. Just it's a sense. We have to open up another tab. But remember, I've got this content here. Okay. Now I can either just copy paste, or I can just copy the whole thing over, which is what I do sometimes. And that way I have it where I can actually work with it. So what I'll do sometimes is I'll just add a new thing, add after, and I'll just dump this thing in there for the second so that I can just look at it. Okay. Couldn't be easier. Now I got the ability. Oh, heading, make money in less time with smarter tools. Okay. Watch. All I got to do is that. Done. And maybe I don't want the italics that it gave me. So I turn that off. I'm done. Now, next, browse plugins, get expert help. Okay. Browse plugins. You get where I'm going with this, right? I don't have to be too literal. It's faster. It's easier. It's better to simply notice with this. There's some styling stuff that I might want to scale down because I can see what I'm looking at, right? And since I'm in this actual space, let's click on the button. I can actually choose from the default settings of small, medium, large, etc. What's the font size? I can just adjust this stuff as I go, right? I don't have to like guess what the AI is going to spit out. I can just do this stuff and then get expert help, right? So the same thing. Get expert help. Okay. Expert. Background, clean professional design with subtle gradient or image of a dashboard in action. By the way, here's a subheading. Let's just copy that. Now notice how much time and aggravation was that versus what we just went through with the AI. Okay. Love a show of hands or some input. I also like, because of here, professional software. Here, I can scale this also and either use the presets or whatever, but I can see how it works in real time. And I'm going to have to do that anyway. There's no AI that's going to spit out everything that's going to style and match exactly. Here's my choice of images. Remember, we've got the choice of using the media hub, but I can just go into the media library and I can use pixels or I can use anything I want. And here I'm going to say software instead of the cleaning, right? So maybe I just choose some cliche, coding guy image. Get rid of this. It's too busy. And I'm done. It was like a minute to do the panel. And I just would rinse and repeat, right? Make the next panel. Now, here's what I love about this model or method as well. What if I don't like one of these panels? This panel let's say the heroes, I'm going to do the one below the hero section. Hold on, let's delete this. Let's say this next panel about us, I'm like, I'm not a big fan. Okay, what do I want to do? I'm going to go to the design library and I'm going to choose from this incredibly awesome, not AI, notice not AI, because the AI stuff is mental. It just sits here and takes ugly stuff and puts your words in it, taking 10 times longer than if you just type the words in. And instead, I put in something that I choose from here. Maybe it's another hero section, or maybe it's a gallery section, right? I like this one. Let's just add this one in by clicking. Takes maybe 10 seconds, and then I can adjust it with my human brain or the help of the AI. All I have to do is delete the one I don't like. Now I've got the one I do like, and then I go and do the second thing, right? The problem, why you need this, right? Heading, tired of wasting time on tech headaches. I mean, I'm not going to go through this whole thing and do it, but you can see if I just pasted that in, I'm good to go. And then I do the second line of the thing. Now, why is this relevant to the Fluent Community stuff? It's relevant because in the Fluent Community stuff, we intersect with the landing pages, with the content, with the theme. And one of the things that's been really useful now in putting them together is that I'm able to show people how you can achieve stuff that crosses the bridge. So let's go back over here to WP Launchify, where I have the club. I have some experiments running. You'll notice that even though I'm in the club, I'm in the community stuff. It looks and feels just the same as on the front, right? This is one of the benefits of having the continuity between the social network side and the front side. But what I'm also able to do is that if there are things that I want to sell or things that I want to promote or things like today that I want to archive, I can put them very easily into the community, but now they're accessible. They're available to me both on the front end. Somebody browsing around can just easily go to the club, and if they've got a pass, they go in the door, or they can be on the back end, right? So like the content that comes from the club, from me posting, from people asking questions, can be repurposed using the Fluent Community Manager into content that gets republished or turned into more stuff. I can also do weird stuff that isn't possible right now on the regular Fluent Community. Like you can see here that I've got an embed of a Loom video. Loom videos are not embedding presently. You can do Bunny, you can do Wistia, I think, maybe YouTube and Vimeo, but you can't do Loom, which is a drag because I have all this content in Loom. So with the Fluent Community Manager, it's easy. I just go ahead and edit it on the back end, paste it in, and it's good to go, right? Which is another helpful thing. If I'm able to design thoughtfully a website for a client using starter templates in a couple minutes, the mechanics are universal. The template stuff is just the window dressing. So let's take this opportunity now that let's go back here. Let's go to square one. Let's go to the site that I had prepared here. It's blank. I don't have anything installed or set up. Let's pretend this is for a client and we're building a site from scratch and we need to look like geniuses. We can have a template or something that we know very familiarly and we use for multiple clients because they don't know the difference. So if you find one that's really, really good, I have a few favorites myself. I just keep using it for everybody. Or I just use the default stuff by itself and I save those extra design components as patterns that I paste in place. But either way, you don't need 50 or 100 different templates to choose from. That's just old fashioned. So let's do a classic. Okay, you have access to both free and premium. I want to show you that because with the site license, notice all the premium stuff is working fine. That remote cloud thing I can't speak to. Now let's say I'm going to do something. I actually prefer these really stupidly clean and simple layouts because we can easily change the color scheme than these really heavy dark ones or complicated ones. Like, let's see, like this one. I mean, this is actually pretty cool if you have a client who wants it, but this isn't going to be universal. You need something that's much cleaner, lighter, and whatever, because that makes it easier for mobile responsive design to be done. Every one of these layouts, you got to make sure that it works on mobile and it works on desktop. And although it gives you previews of certain things, it's just easier to do the layouts when you have one of the simpler ones. This one I love because it really gives you like enough to get going, but not so much to really knock you on your feet, right? So I can do a little woo-woo change if I want to make it dark, but otherwise if I keep it light, pretty good, right? Even the default one is pretty decent. Okay, so if we do next here, import full site. Because I'm starting from scratch, I'm going to say yes, and then it's not going to delete anything. And I haven't even set up anything yet, so it's not any time wasted. This is the first step that I'm doing. And again, for 9 out of the 10 things that I show you how to do with Minute Launch, you really only need one main sales page. And the products themselves can be just linked, right? Dynamically linked so that you don't really need to show the product pages. We don't need to show all the details of the product. We can put it mostly on the sales page and then just have the link to add the product or the form submission to go forward. So here we are. And again, I'm going to do this one more time to show how simple this all could be, right? I'm just going to take the headline here. Let's do online stopwatch. Okay. So go over here, click edit page. I'm just going to do one panel. I'm going to say it's 2 minutes or less, depending on my copy paste style. Okay. So I highlight this. I hold the Shift V down so it doesn't change the formatting. That just is special paste. This is what it's called. Shift Control V allows me to retain the original formatting of what's under there. Okay. And then these two, I can just type faster probably than I can do it. So it was like browse plugins or get expert help. Even with my heavy-handed mouse. And this isn't a button, so we're just going to do get extra help. Let's pretend it was a phone number. Okay, done. I'm at 1 minute and change. Okay. So doing it this way eliminates the use of AI in the front end, makes use of AI in a way that's beneficial to you. The thing that's cool about the AI tools as well is that depending on which one you're using, they have things that can now interact with spreadsheets. So for example, I think GPT 4.5 will allow you to interact with the Google Sheet. I think that, let's see what the other models are that it's given me. Let's see what happens if I shift to this model. This is interesting because the deep research would be a good tool maybe to try. Here we've got Canvas for code, we got images for Dolly. So like all these things are available inside of whatever, if it's ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever, they all have similar tools. This deep research might be interesting. I've not used it yet, but let's see. Think like a marketing expert and give me an outline of the 5 things I should put on the home page of my WordPress website if I'm selling expert support and software for entrepreneurs on WordPress. By the way, you guys got to see my 210 word a minute typing speed there. Okay, this deep research, along with maybe the web stuff, would probably give me some fairly good results. Like, right, for this kind of, it's asking me for some questions, right? Just look at wplaunchify.com and spencerforman.com as that is me. And I don't know if I have to click this button to search the web. Let's see if it'll do it for me. I mean, this is AI. This is a real conversation with something intelligent that has the ability, and I have the tools to go out and actually make stuff happen. barfing that into these pre-designed little fugly blocks of stuff does not help anybody or save anybody. It is dumb. Sorry. I've said it now several times. And I don't mean there's a person that's dumb. The team is awesome. It's just dumb. This is the wrong idea for how to use AI. Now, I don't know what this is going to amount to, but in the meantime, what you can see, hopefully it's very small, homepage outline, hero section. Here's the headline. Let's just take one of these things. Yeah, it's what interesting is now I know because I use Claude Sonnet mostly, but I've been using ChatGPT in the 3.0 mini model. I haven't tried this model yet, 4.5. But what I do love is that it knows me. It knew everything about me. It's still researching some stuff. Would I like a formatted doc? Yes, I would. While it's doing that, I can go back and what I was showing you before would still apply here. I could just take the suggestions that it gave me if I wanted to and, apply those in a sort of practical sense, right? Here's my headline. Here's my subheadline. Here's my CTA. I could just copy and paste over what I had before. Okay, you guys are good sports. I didn't intend for today to turn into a monstrous affair, but what I wanted to help everybody understand is a couple key points. Number one, AI is here to stay. AI used in the wrong ways, like the things that annoy and waste time, is worse than not using AI at all. Like using AI for a chatbot on the front of a website is like going back to voice jail where press 1 to talk to, press 3 to press 4. I don't want to do that as a human being. If you're going to use AI in the front end and you don't know that it's like indistinguishable from a real human, you're risking your entire brand and reputation in a world where that's the only thing we really have left to differentiate a company is how they treat human beings and how they interact with them. Number two, I love everything from Ben and Hannah Rittner at Liquid Web with Kadence. I cannot say anything nice about AI starter templates. It's a complete diversion, distraction, waste of time, confusing. If they would turn it off and throw it away, I would be much happier. The classic templates are perfect. They're just the right amount of stuff. And God help us if they start doing full site editing templates. I hope they do not. Number three, having the integration between the theme and the back end of WordPress with your Fluent Community is going to make a big difference for how you can put information up for people, collect information for people, interact with people. Like today, I'm going to take this video and I'm just going to take the YouTube stream of this. And when I am done here, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the discussion and I'm going to say, great office hours. Okay. Now, in this case, it is a YouTube video. We learned a lot about AI and starter templates. I'll put more in there later. I'm just giving an example. Here, I actually can use the YouTube video, right? And so I paste that in and I'm good to go. Now, this by itself is a super, super useful thing for me because now I know, despite having lots of other social network sites and posting it in Spencer Forman, I know that everything I'm doing is in a feed, in a stream. I could have a tag on it, but even better. Let's hope this works without too much embarrassment. Even better, on the back end here in the Fluent Community Manager, which I'm running on WP Launchify as well, I could go back and search for this content, right? So I know I just made this new post. I can go to it directly and do some more cool editing, or I could just look for stuff like this, like, starter templates. In the future, when I've got 10,000 pieces of data here and I want to feed it to my LLM or anything else, I can see, here's something from the great office hours. And I can go view it and edit it and do other stuff with it. So to me, that's the essential ingredient why I'm doing all of this stuff is that I want to make it that the tools themselves are all interconnected on the front end and the back end, and that you can continue to use it intelligently as a human. But in the case of actual data, Of course, I want it to be available to an LLM to use, just not using the wrong tool, like trying to build a theme with all the details in the 4 screens before somebody pulls their hair out. Instead, just give me cool looking things that I can pick as a human and let me just paste in the data that is coming from an AI, but not necessarily your AI. Okay, last but not least, I had a request from Noel. I released a new version of Fluent Community Customizer today. It has a new feature in it I'm going to show you, which allows you to choose whether to put the sidebar content above or below the default content, which is useful for some folks in general. So over here, there's a new trigger, sidebar content. You can choose whether you want that content before or after the default content. Similarly, he had asked whether there was an easy way to do modal content, because she wanted to have like something cool that pops up. I don't know how and when, but I said, challenge accepted. It's very tricky because we have to deal with both a view application that is being loaded into a browser plus content that is being held from a trigger, but outside of the frame of the content inside of the application. It's like little old lady swallowed the fly, but I made it work. So here's an example where you can have a button. It could be conditionally displayed. Obviously, you'd only want to show it when you're on the discussion feed page because otherwise it won't do anything. What it's doing is triggering something that's injected above the normal feed that in this case holds a video. So this is a nice example of the kind of stuff that we can do now that I've got this framework in place to extend what we're already working on. Imagine somebody was in your community and you have Black Friday sale. Okay. You can have a button that like opens it up and shows the video while you're in the community feed, which doesn't take away from the fact that I could still have a banner on the top of the site like I do all the time anyway here with the software bundle, or that I can have it inside of a product page or a tab. I am just here to make it possible to have all the components and features act like their inventory at IKEA. And today I'm wearing the gray vest, and that I'm the dude with the yellow vest. Like, excuse me, sir, where can I find the meatballs and a living room collection for my college child? That is what the entire operation has been going towards. And I'm really excited because we're really here. The things I'm working on this weekend are going to be the AI assistant that I showed you before, as well as I am overdue now 2 weekends for improving the interface of the Launch Kit Manager because I want to make it just something that's easier to use. I have a few other magic tricks up my sleeve that I have not released yet just because of time, because I'm working on this larger project that will be applicable to you guys, which it's a business model, but it's based upon what I've done in the past. And it's here, practitioners. This is using the very same tools from what we're talking about today with a client that has done extremely well, that is done so well that we've talked about expanding into a line of business together. And this is an example of me doing and using the very same tools and the marketing skills and everything else I shared with you. Why? Number one, because this is one of the rare instances where I actually felt that the business opportunity for me to participate was valid. And number two is that this could not be a better example of how I can provide you as an intermediary a step-by-step in a box package for how to launch into your own vertical, exactly what I'm doing here. And I want to explain something too. I'm using the same pricing model consistently for everything. Notice this is a $5,000 setup and $1,250 a month. Now that's equivalent to my initial retainer model, for one of my hands-on. But this is where we're providing all of the services that these particular practitioners need. So it's literally like a complete way to sell everything that you need to sell for this particular niche, plus a whole team to run it for you because it's standardized. And we can offer it in this, like, here's the price. And when I say that I can pass this down to you guys, this entire business model, including all the marketing and the sales funnels, the automation, this is all going to be included in the kit or inside of the community, because this is where you're going to make your money, right? On a side hustle for something, whether it's a hobby or a niche that you're interested in, I can give you the entire platform, all the software, all the marketing, all the strategies, all the proof of how great this works. And by the way, this particular client is really, really smart and has a great product. So they're already doing in the low millions. Some of my customers are starting out today. I have some great success stories. By the way, high five to Colleen, who got her pickleball business running and knocked it out of the park. Knocked it out of the park. There's lots of names like Ann, who I mentioned, and Dr. Krieger and Chris and everybody else. But like Colleen came in, tippy-toed around for a couple months, left, came back, said, I'm all in. I love when that happens. There's a few other people I've mentioned who had the same experience. We got her site running. We put up the bare basic stuff with the minute launch software, including a newsletter. And by the way, I'm happy to share her thing here. It may not be fully done, but she's at picklevisor.com. By the way, love Colleen's energy enthusiasm, but I also love that she follows all my advice. And so with the domain name and the logo and all this, is the best logo and best domain name it's for Pickle. They're advisors to pickleball tournament organizers. It's news for them. And the basic thing is a newsletter. She launched this newsletter, and I don't want to share her fiduciary information, but we talked about just get a couple sponsors so that you can cover the first, 6 months to a year of launching. Well, she not only got the sponsors, she knocked it out, because what happened was the sponsors were like, where have you been my whole life? And they ended up offering her more than she was asking for a share of the sponsorship, which led us to have a nice consultation about what's the strategy here? Where's she going? But the point is, this was all that she needed to do. She follows my teachings. I love it. We have our meetings. She had a VIP consultation with me to get here. But the point is, look at how stupid simple this is. And yet this is a fully cash flow positive business before she's even published her first official newsletter. Now, in all fairness, I'm talking a lot about her because she had Pickle 508, or I can't remember, some weird name before. Sorry, Colleen. It was Pickleball 508. I can't remember. Something 508. I'd have to look it up. But one of the things that she did by coming back is she took me up on a lot of the things. I can't even find it. A lot of the things that I was recommending about domain names, E2C, spell, remember how to set up a site that's just basic, one product, get the people's names, put them into Fluent CRM. She doesn't have the social community part yet, but it will. This is an amazing example of what a client experience may be like for you, because Colleen was my client, but she's already just using the very same systems, the pricing models, the designs that I used with her for getting her paid subscribers before she's even launched the first newsletter. And one of the things that we did yesterday, day before, is we talked about how to send out an email to get everybody on board with what's going on. Like, hey gang, we're building a lemonade stand. Everybody can help out. All right. Today was fun for a couple of reasons. First of all, I love to see you guys. Me goofing around and struggling is going to be a never ending thing. I've always loved it. I love it when people call me out on like, Spence, click there, do that. So sorry for the first 20 minutes or so where I wasted your life, but maybe you feel better that Spence is struggling sometimes too. Once I got it going, word to the wise, the things that I talked about today are going to be an ongoing part of what I do. I can love something or someone and still say, I don't think this is the best feature for it. And so I love Ben and Hannah and the Kadence team and Liquid Web and Devin and everybody runs it. But like, please kill the Kadence starter templates AI. Just kill it. Get rid of it. Don't follow it anywhere. And if Adam and Suji are listening, please kill the AI capabilities of ZipWP. And by the way, put in a capability for me to debug something if it crashes, because every time I do one of your free starters and it crashes, I have to start over because you give no tools for your free plugin version of it, which is weird since InstaWP does. Okay. Finally, if you have been on the fence about launching your business, using the tools, if you've been thinking like, I'm going to keep fighting about this, don't. Just join the club, literally and physically. Get in here. Let's talk. Have a call with me if you haven't already. Buy the minimum, the software bundle, but get the whole $97 package. So you have email from me. You have access to, the rocket.net hosting so that you don't have any funny business. And let's just start doing stuff, because the time is now. There's no reason to wait. but you don't have to be frustrated by a bunch of tools that are otherwise just making you feel it's harder than it needs to be. Okay. Thanks. Sorry for the disjointed method for this week, but it's okay. I think I'll just see you for more videos during the week. I have a lot of stuff to release, but if you want to go over to the software bundle and pick up the new version of the Fluent Community Customizer, I'm going to release some code for those buttons. I'm trying to improve it, make it into a short code. Right now, it's just a JavaScript snippet, but that way you can play with some of these things and let me know what you think. Otherwise, have an amazing weekend. Hope it's warm by you. See you next week.